Hey, what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Tick, aka Game Fanatic, the Michael Jordan game, and it's late as hell. Why am I doing this video? But I got to, man. I just played this game called Days of War by Driven Arts. It's an early access World War II game that is very reminiscent to the Call of Duties that I loved back in the day. You know, the original Call of Duty, Night of Offensive as well, and Day of Defeat, which is a Counter-Strike equivalent, World War II equivalent. Nearly, that's all it is. But these guys sought out to make a game that was very reminiscent to those classic games that I enjoyed when I was a teenager, and I played all the way up to 2007 when they came out with the garbage, which was Call of Duty 4. Now, I know some of you guys are upset about me talking about Call of Duty 4. You say, man, Call of Duty 4 is the best Call of Duty ever. That's if you're a little kid. To me, it isn't. I enjoyed the original ones that took a little bit more talent, and that's what these guys wanted, man. They were like, man, we're going to make games where you don't have hit markers, you don't have perks. It's just you, your team, and your guns, man, and you just go out and kill people, which is amazing. So, I talked about Battalion 1944 back in the day. That hasn't come out yet, so I can play it. I think that's still in super early access where you have to pledge to, so many dollars to play the game. But the guys at Driven Arts put out an early access on Steam for us to try it out. Now, I first found out about this game from my old clan leader from GDS. Back in like 2004 when I was playing Call of Duty back in the day, in Night of Offensive. He hit me up after he heard my Battalion 1944 video, and he was like, "Hey man, you should check this game out." And I looked at it, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is way more like Call of Duty, the original," because like Battalion 1944 was more trying to be like Call of Duty 2, which is the most garbage Call of Duty in my opinion. I hate that Call of Duty. It was awful. That one was definitely a console version of it. It was console watered down trash of the original Call of Duty. I hated it. But anyway, this one looked like it was more targeted towards the guys who are in their 30s or late 20s who played the original Call of Duty back in the day, which I'm one of those guys. So, without any ado, I want to talk about the pros and the cons of the game. So, first things first, getting into the game, man, I could say the graphics are kind of like a mixed bag. They're good, then they're bad. I can see that they're definitely going to try to polish it up some more. It's running on Unreal 4, I believe. Some maps you can see some really good graphics. Some maps the graphics look a little meh. Could be better. Things like that. But other than that, it's pretty okay for any title. I can't rip on it. So you get the option of being American or German, as you see, and you all have like a different arsenal of weapons, and each weapon has their stats. Remember how I used to show that about the original Call of Duty and Call of Duty 3? Yes, that is back. So they made it where each weapon has realistic stats, not those fake ones that World at War had, but realistic stats that the guns were supposed to have. Certain weapons are stronger than others. Some have faster fire rates than others. Some have more recoil than others. Things like that. They also made it where you can't have a million snipers out there. There's actually a limit on who can pick a sniper rifle and a light machine gun that shoots fast as hell. So good job and kudos on that, Driven Arts. Thank you. Now, the gameplay, like I said, the graphics are pretty good. The gameplay is not that bad. I mistakenly just shot my boy in the head with one shot. That is what I'm looking for. So, remember how you always preach about one-shot headshot kills made, skill better and recoil. As you can see, my gun is bouncing all over the place because that's real. That's how a gun should be fired. I had to short burst it to do good. And one tap to the head is realistic. Now, sometimes all bullets shouldn't hit you in one shot. Call of Duty had that. Pistols would not one-shot you in the original Call of Duty. Submachine guns would not one-shot you in the regular Call of Duty unless it was a Thompson, because it was a 45 caliber bullet. But other than that, they wouldn't all one-shot you. But rifles and assault rifles would always one-shot you because they are made to go through those helmets and do damage. So that is a plus. The speed of the game, I love the speed of the game. It is very reminiscent of classic Call of Duties and Day of Defeat. Don't have a problem with that at all. So I like all that stuff that I just said there. Those were my only pros I could think of about the game. Now, let's pull out my list of cons. Hold on, get the paper. All right. So I have a list of cons here. All right, so first con is the sound in the game. Now, I know this is an indie game, and I know they're going to probably fix this later on, but the sound needs work. There's no ambience. There's no dynamic sounds with the weapons. Every weapon sounds the same. It's a popcorn sound. It's just a loud pop. Doesn't matter if you're inside or outside, it sounds the same anywhere. Also, when you're running around the maps, especially if there's only a few people in the maps, it sounds very empty and dead. And that's because there's no ambient noise that they put in the background of the maps. If you go back and play the original Call of Duty on the PC, Call of Duty 1 and 2, and probably even Call of Duty 4 even had this, I'm not sure, but I remember the originals had it. You can run around a map by yourself and it still sounds like there's a war going on. You hear gunfire, you hear some bombs going off, things like that. Now, certain maps had more explosion sounds in the background than others, but for the main part, you heard gunfire in the background. It made it seem like you were actually in a war-torn village or town or battleground. Like, there's none of that on this game. If you're running around with only 5 people on the map, it's going to seem like 5 people on the map. You're barely going to hear any gunfire. You're not going to hear any chatter. There should be people chattering, saying words when they're throwing grenades, like grenade out, or you should hear grunts and groans of people dying, screaming sounds of people dying and things like that. That's none of that in this game, and it makes the game sound empty to me. So that's something that you need to add driven art to the game to make it sound a little better, because it makes it sound so boring. As well as that, there's some things to the gun game mechanics that needs to be fixed. For instance, like grenades. You can't cook grenades. And I'm going to show a clip of old Call of Duty where I'm actually cooking a grenade. You'll see me cock it back, and I'm holding it. Nothing's going to happen. I can hold it forever. It won't blow up. And then if you press the right mouse button while you're still holding the left click, it will start the grenade to cook. And you'll hear a click noise like cling, and you'll see the reticle actually opening up and closing. And while it's doing that, it's keeping sync with a timer sound. So you hear tick, 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 tick. While the reticle's opening and closing, it's giving you a timer on when it's going to blow up. And then you throw it before it blows up.
One of our bunkers is under attack!
Now, I haven't seen a Call of Duty since the original Call of Duty and United Offensive do that. After that, they just had it where if you just cocked it back, it was automatically cooking. I would love for them to go back to the United Offensive, or the United Offensive way, which was cooking, like pressing a button to start to cook. As well as there's things like leaning. So a lot of times I find myself getting killed because I have a sniper looking at me, and I have to walk all the way out and show my whole body in order to try to shoot him, and I end up getting killed because he has a sniper rifle looking dead at me, or a rifle which can one-shot me, and I have this assault rifle, and I have to hope that I have to pray that I get a headshot because I cannot lean out of the corner. And don't add a half-ass lean like Battlefield 1 or the recent Battlefields and Call of Duty where you have to run to a corner, then hit the aim button and they lean out. Like, no. Have it the way Call of Duty 1 and United Offensive had it, where you press the Q or E button, or even Call of Duty 2 had it. Press Q or E to lean left and right. Like, have that in there. If you're using a controller, I'm sorry, I don't know why you decide to use controller on a computer anyway. But have it where you can lean by pressing Q or E, left and right, you dig? I would love that. That would make the gameplay a lot better, because right now I'm just getting bodied because I have to stick my whole body out there to try to take a shot on somebody, and they end up dropping me. So driven arts, that's something that needs to be implemented. Some type of leaning feature. I prefer the Call of Duty 1 and United Offensive one. I hate the Battlefield 1 and the newer Call of Duty way of doing it. It's broken sometimes. Like, I hate it. Because sometimes I don't want to lean from the wall, and it will make me lean constantly, and then I get popped because it's causing me to do it automatically. So, yeah, leaning needs to be in the game. There's also something wrong with like, I don't know, the gun mechanics just feel weird. Like, I like that there's a lot of recoil, but it seems like it's recoil that I can't control. Like, on the original Call of Duties, there was lots of recoil, but you could control it, and it didn't go straight vertical. It went like slightly to the left on certain weapons. Some weapons went left, right. You know, it was weird recoil for each weapon. It just seems like every weapon on this just pulls upward, which isn't natural. It needs to have more of a natural feel. So if you guys can fix that in the muzzle flash just looks lame. Can we get better, like more dynamic type muzzle flashes that's not one little puff of, smoke and fire? Like, we need dynamic ones, because if you fire a weapon, they look different multiple shots. So that's something that can be added as well. As well as the sound. Like I said, the sound of the guns definitely sound a little lame. They all sound the same. They sound like little popcorn guns, like like cap guns. We need them to have more of a dynamic sound, especially indoor and outdoor. All right, the last thing that I believe needs to be fixed. I'm sorry for the snorting, guys. My allergies are kicking my butt. The last thing that could be added to the game would be, I don't know, the kill cams. Like, it needs kill cams. A lot of times I'm getting killed by people and I can't tell where to shoot me from. And sometimes you just die randomly and then it just automatically spawns you. You're like, yo, what just happened? Like, one time I just thought I teleported. I just heard, and that was it. And I was alive instantly. And I'm like, whoa, like, what just happened? Like, I'm looking around, and I show a clip of it. Like, I didn't know what happened. Like, I was confused of what just happened. So a kill cam would also be something that should be added. Also, when you kill people, they need to let you know who you killed a lot better. So I love that the game has no hit markers. Please, for the love of God, do not put hit markers in the game. Just allow people to mod hit markers in there if they want to mod it in their own servers. Other than that, the base game should not have hit markers. But when you kill people, so right now the only way to tell if you kill somebody is to look at the upper right side of the screen. It will say your name and what gun you killed the person with, and then say the person's name after it shows the gun. The old Call of Duty used to do that, but the old Call of Duty also put on the middle of the screen in big words who you killed. It said you killed so and so and so in big words in the middle of the screen, so that way you don't have to look off the center of the screen and get killed by someone else because you're trying to figure out, did you kill that person? I find myself doing that a lot in this game, looking off to the side to see if I killed a person and somebody else just lights me up. So it needs to be somewhere in the lower middle part of the screen, not the far low, but like, you know, kind of like where my eyes would see it, you know, who I killed, just like the classic Call of Duties did it, along with putting the thing in the upper right corner so everybody knows who was killed, and by who. So that's all the positives and negatives I have for Days of War. Other than that, it's a pretty good game. Like I said, it's definitely reminiscent of the older Call of Duties and Days of Defeat. I would also like a melee. I forgot to add that in there. They have the shovel in there, just like Day of Defeat. But I prefer to be able to butt someone with my gun, and each gun should have a certain amount of damage they do to people, judging by their weight. So, and also, I would like other factions like the Russians and also the British in the game, like the older games. You know, can we have those guys in the game as well? And even Chinese, if you want to add those people. Just different factions. And each weapon should have a certain weight, so you should move fast if you have like a light weapon, slow if you have a heavy weapon. And also, one last thing I noticed before I end the video is when you're crouching, you still make noise. Crouching should have like a little bit more stealth to it. You shouldn't hear them walk unless they walk on like a step or they step off or something. Just like the classic Call of Duty. Normally, on the older Call of Duty, we will crouch walk, so people couldn't hear, especially, you know, it was good for games like Search and Destroy and things like that. So that should be something implemented as well. But anyway, like I said, end of the video. I just wanted to get the rest out there because I forgot all about that stuff. But anyway, let me know in the description below if you ever played this game on Steam, and let me know how you felt about it, what you think could be added to it. But if you're going to say any of that stuff from the Call of Duty 4 and up, please don't even add that stuff. We're not even going to worry about that. Don't even bother posting it. This is the game for skill. There's no perks. There's no hit markers. None of that stuff. All right? So don't even say hit markers and perks and all that stuff. Like, no. And don't say lower the recoil. No. But anyway, if you're a person that, you know, like the older Call of Duties and you think there's some stuff they can add to it from those that I forgot, then yes, say in the comment section below. But this is your boy Tick, aka Game Fanatic, the Michael Jordan the Gamer, and I hope you continue to do good things, Driven Arts. And I'm gone. Bye.